All right, y'all, forgive the poor lighting in here, but I have some major breaking news here for you. So Donald Trump just announced a brand new round of political prosecutions against his political opponents. So MS Now is saying that Tulsi Gabbard just referred the whistleblower whose complaint led to Trump's first impeachment and the inspector general who deemed the complaint credible for possible criminal prosecution by the Trump Justice Department. So in other words, people who have a conscience, people who follow the law, people who told the truth about Donald Trump's criminality, they are now potentially going to have their lives ruined. They are going to potentially be charged with felonies. And this is what Trump does, as you all know. He went after James Comey and was able to prove fuck all. And of course, that fell apart instantly. He's gone after a number of his political opponents. He's gone after Letitia James. You guys know how it is. If you expose his criminality, if you expose his wrongdoing, if you tell the truth about who he is and what he does, he tries to destroy your life. And so now Tulsi Gabbard is helping to lead that charge here. And of course, Tulsi Gabbard has zero principles. This is a person who ran as a Democrat on being anti-war, and then now she's part of the Trump White House, and she didn't disagree at all when it came to Trump abducting Maduro and stealing the oil from Venezuela. She didn't disagree at all when Trump launched an illegal and offensive war against Iran. By the way, she was selling "No War with Iran" shirts. And then now here she is, part of the regime that does an illegal war against Iran, and she has nothing negative to say about it. She's one of Trump's disgusting beta cuck henchmen, and now she's doing even more of his dirty work. Just absolutely grotesque, man. So disgusting. And these poor people, they do the right thing, and then they get destroyed. And what, of course, this does is makes it so that fewer people are likely to tell the truth and do the right thing because they fear this sort of punishment being targeted by the Trump regime this aggressively. Okay, now I do have some good news, though, because we just learned that John Eastman, who's a conservative attorney who helped come up with Trump's plan during the 2020 election to try to steal it, to try to overturn it and steal it, this guy has officially just been disbarred according to the California Supreme Court, or because of the California Supreme Court. So he came up with some bullshit, cockamamie, fake legal theory about how, Trump is the rightful winner and Trump should overturn the election and all this stuff, and was advising to that effect. And apparently that was such an egregious overstep that now he's cooked, he's done, he's losing his license to practice law. So that is some phenomenal news. And it's almost like, it's like a tale of two worlds here, right? Like you have the blue states trying to do the right thing, trying to uphold law and order and checks and balances. And then you have Trump and the Republican federal government are absolutely going to town trying to destroy whatever semblance of rule of law remains. And they're trying to make it, complete fucking kleptocracy, oligarchy, kakistocracy, just like hell on earth, where basically Trump is the mob boss and he gets to do whatever the hell he wants to do. We also have this. Midas Touch is reporting here that Trump's Justice Department is now moving to erase some of the most serious January 6th convictions. So as you know, he basically did mass pardons. By the way, his own people thought, he's only going to pardon the people who were nonviolent criminals or whatever on January 6th. No, turns out he got in there and he was like, what if I just mass pardon absolutely everybody? And so he ended up pardoning people even who were violent and abusive towards cops, people who even committed serious violent felonies. He pardoned all of them. So now we're learning he's trying to wipe the slate clean completely when it comes to these people. So the U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro filed motions asking a federal court to vacate convictions against key members of the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, including Oath Keeper founder Stuart Rhodes and Proud Boy leader Ethan Nordian and Joseph Biggs, who were found guilty of seditious conspiracy for plotting to stop the peaceful transfer of power. So these were among the final convictions that were still standing after Trump issued the sweeping pardons, and commutations. So now the DOJ is attempting to wipe them away entirely, even after juries heard extensive evidence of coordinated planning, weapon stockpiles, efforts to overturn the 2020 election. It was highly organized. It was basically a fucking terrorist coup is the most accurate way to describe it. And now they're trying to completely and utterly wipe the slate clean. And you know what Trump is up to also? He's trying to give these people fucking restitution. He's literally working to give these people restitution. And this is why it's phenomenal news that I just saw the other day you have some movement among Democrats in Congress where they're like going through the proper steps and process here to basically file the 25th Amendment paperwork. Now that's going to be, it's phenomenally difficult. It's an arduous process. You need way too many, politicians or Congress people to get it done. I don't think they're going to succeed on that front, but just the fact that they're fighting, just the fact that like there's some life in the Democrats, they're filing 25th Amendment papers. That's phenomenal, but they should also be working on impeachment at the same time. But yeah, this is crazy. I mean, Trump wants to fucking, give these people tax money, pay these people off with tax money because they committed terrorist acts on his behalf. Okay, so absolutely insane stuff there as well. I also have for you, this is kind of a big deal. I believe it's 36 senators voted to block $150 million in weapon sales to Israel. They're 1,000-pound bombs. And 36 senators now, all Democrats, voted, and of course Bernie, who caucuses with the Democrats, they voted to block sending these weapons to Israel. That's a record high. 40 voted to block bulldozers. So even higher, okay? So here are all the Republicans voted the wrong way, and that's no surprise. It's a literal, party of demons and terrorists and fascists, and they're just disgusting, as you all know. But on the Democratic side, here are the evil Democrats, the Diet Maga Democrats. You have Blumenthal, Coons, Cortez Masto, Fetterman, who barely counts as a Democrat at this point, Gillibrand, Peters, Reed, Rosen, Schumer, Warner, and Whitehouse. So those are the ones, if you're feeling saucy, go ahead and call their offices and let them know what you think about them. Voting to send a literal terror state that is committing multiple genocides, $150 million of 1,000-pound bombs. Let them know what you think of that, okay? Call them up and let them know your feelings on that. Because basically, these people themselves are terrorists if they're voting to arm and fund this literal terror ethno-state, this fucking rape slave state that we call Israel. Okay. I also wanted to give you guys this. This is incredible. So as you all know, Representative Eric Swalwell was outed in 17,000 different ways of being just a horrific, sexual abuser, harasser, rapist, using date rape drugs, and there's so many allegations. It's starting to look like a Bill Cosby type situation where it's oh, this is our 73rd accuser. That's where we're at right now. Or like a Donald Trump situation where him also, it's Jesus, we're double digits with him too. 20-something, 30-something people who've accused him. Never mind all the Epstein, pedophilia stuff going on there. But so Swalwell's done. Swalwell's gone. He's out of the way. You, of course, had mass resignations the other day. Tony Gonzalez was another one. He's the one who, basically was, forcing himself onto a staffer and texting her sexy things when she didn't want to hear it. And then she ended up killing herself. Just a nightmare scenario. So a bunch of these people, looks like I'm getting, pulled over or something. A bunch of these people, shit, where was I? I forgot what I was saying because it looks like I'm about to be under attack. So, I hope they don't come over here and say something. Where was I? So Eric Swalwell is cooked. He's done. Tony Gonzalez is out of there. But Eric Swalwell was also, not only was he in Congress, he of course was running to be governor of California. And he was one of the top contenders. And because of this, now that campaign is also barbecue chicken. He's done there. So now the person who's very likely to be the next governor of California is the now class trader billionaire by the name of Tom Steyer. And he's going hard in the paint, man. You got to give credit where credit is due. So apparently he released an immigration platform that is just significantly to the left of Gavin Newsom. And it includes abolishing ICE, putting ICE agents in jail and treating them like the mob. These are his words, not mine. Bring those kidnapped and detained by ICE back home, give the California Attorney General power to imprison ICE agents and their leadership. He wants taxpayer-funded legal representation for undocumented immigrants. He wants to ignore a Supreme Court ruling that allows ICE to basically use race and racism and language and jobs and stuff like that in order to develop reasonable suspicion and to arrest them on those grounds, right? Basically, it legalized discrimination. And he wants to, basically ignore that Supreme Court ruling and say, no, fuck you, you're not allowed to do that in this state. And they basically go on to explain that he's almost pulling like a sovereignty move here, where it's like the federal government is totally out of control. They're insane fascists, and so we're no longer going to abide by the fascist rule book here. We're going to have our own sovereign state here, and we're going to treat people with fucking dignity and respect, and we're going to be pro-immigrant, and we're going to fucking arrest all the ICE Gestapo thugs. So shout out to him, man. And what this tells me is that we're winning. What this tells me is that the messaging war, on the policy front, people are with us. Average normie Americans are with us. They don't like the fucking concentration camps, right? They don't like people being shipped to CCOT. They don't like protesters being shot in the face. They don't like fucking Home Depots being raided. They don't like senior citizens getting tear gassed and babies getting tear gassed and protesters being run over by ICE cars, right? Like, people don't like this shit. And so the fact that he's willing to as a front runner, post this means the vibes are completely on the left, man. And I don't think that's changing anytime soon. And on another positive note here, let me just point out that we have some new Michigan Democratic primary numbers, and on young people in particular. Ready for this? So we've been pushing hard for Abdul El-Sayed, one of the original Justice Democrats, the absolute man, phenomenal on the policies, been doing a great job on the campaign trail. Just awesome how well he's been doing. Well, guess what? That race, of course, is a close race. There's 3 Democrats: Abdul El-Sayed, Haley Stevens, who's like the furthest right-wing Democrat, and Mallory McMorrow, who's like the centrist-y Democrat. Among people age 18 to 44. Ready for this? Abdul El-Sayed has 41% to Haley Stevens' 14% and Mallory McMorrow's 12%. Okay? They're net favorables. Abdul El-Sayed is plus 41. Stevens is only plus 4, and McMorrow is only plus 2. So, it's working. It's working. And all that whole, freak out session the other week, because, Hassan campaigned with him and they were smearing Hassan and him by proxy, it fucking backfired colossally, and it made more people support Abdul El-Sayed, y'all. It made more people come to his side. So this is what I'm talking about. We're winning. These may be like the worst of times, and we may live in a fascist fucking hellscape right now, but there is a popular sentiment bubbling up that will not be denied. And it is being reflected in poll after poll after poll. And I do think on a long enough timeline, we're going to win. We just have to survive these absolute darkest days.